Let's talk about Santa. Most people think Santa Claus is a modern invention, maybe something dreamt up by advertisers or cartoonists. But Santa didn't start as a brand or a myth. He started as a real man living in the Roman Empire. In a coastal city called Myra, in what's now Turkey, there lived a Christian bishop named Nicholas. Very little survived from his own actual writings, but enough independent accounts agree on one thing. Nicholas was known for giving away his money in secret. He believed charity should be anonymous. One of the most persistent stories says that he left gold for struggling families at night, sometimes tossing it through a window so no one would know who helped. Over time, these acts became attached to a specific date, December 6th. The day that Nicholas passed away. For centuries after his death, children across Europe received small gifts on St. Nicholas Day. This wasn't fantasy or folklore at first. Nicholas was still pictured as a bishop, still dressed in robes, and still part of church life. But as these traditions spread, they began to change depending on where they landed. In the Netherlands, Nicholas became known as Sinterklaas. He no longer lived in Turkey, in the popular imagination. Instead, he arrived by ship, rode a white horse, and appeared as a seasonal visitor who rewarded children. When Dutch settlers came to North America in the 17th century, they brought Sinterklaas with them. And this is where things really start to shift. By the early 1800s, Christmas in America wasn't the peaceful family holiday we know today. It was loud, chaotic. Writers and artists began reshaping the holiday into something more gentler and more domestic. St. Nicholas was stripped of his religious authority and turned into a character, someone safe, playful, and centered on children. That transformation solidified in 1823, when the publication of a poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas, it moved gift-giving from early December to Christmas Eve. It gave Nicholas a sleigh, reindeer, and a new personality. Cheerful, plump, and entirely secular. From that point on, the bishop was gone. What remained was Santa Claus. Later in the 19th century, illustrator Thomas Nast gave Santa a fixed appearance. Beard, the belly, the fur-trimmed suit, the North Pole. By the time corporations adopted Santa in the 20th century, the character was already complete. Advertisers didn't invent Santa, so Santa Claus isn't pagan. He isn't a marketing trick, and he isn't a single invention. He's the result of a real man, centuries of tradition, immigration, literature, and art, slowly transformed until the original figure disappeared beneath the layers. At the core, though, nothing really changes. Santa still does what St. Nicholas did. Give in secret, arrive at night, leave without being seen. Like, comment, and sub for more interesting stories.